All right, everybody, I got 8 participants or 13 total viewers. Oh, that should be good enough. All right, so again, please refrain from advancing until I tell you to. So, welcome to Safety Glazing 101. I am your instructor for today. My name is James Sancool, if you don't know who I am already. All right, with that said, moving on to slide 2. What is safety glazing? Can anyone, in their own words, kind of explain it for the rest of the group?
When glass hardens in a way so when it breaks, you don't die.
There you go. Thank you, Jobo. So I'll just read off what I put in the slide here. A process which is chemical or heat treatment that makes glass harder to break and less dangerous when broken. So these are 3 examples. Annealed glass. We used to use this when we weren't safety glazing. Oh, we got a waiting room participant. Please hold. I just let Celine's iPhone into the room. So I guess I'll paste the chat or the Jamboard back in the chat for her. All right. So annealed glass, when it breaks, you get very large shards of glass like this. It's very dangerous. Some of it could still stay in the frame. Tempered glass, after you chemical or heat treat it, if it breaks, it creates little small shards, kind of like this. So you're not likely to really do any kind of major damage to yourself. And then laminated glass, since it's really like a sandwich piece with a plastic um, or interlayer, it kind of holds the broken pieces together. So it's also another form of safety glazing. All right. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
All right, Gabe, go ahead.
Why did we use annealed before? Is it just because it was cheaper, or just because we didn't know about the glazing, like the safety glazing?
Well, it's yeah, I mean, no, safety glazing, we always safety glazed around areas where we needed to safety glaze, but like in the other places where you didn't need safety glazing, annealed was preferred, right? So any glass edge that's maybe 3 feet above the ground, we were able to anneal. But then in the past, I don't know, a couple years, we decided to heat treat all our glass. Maybe not all of it is safety glaze, but at least we're not like using annealed glass. But we are, heat treating all of our glass, and then more so, I guess, in areas where we need to safety glaze it.
And the
Right.
anneal is still used in the industry.
Yes, that is true. It's a Walters and Wolf standard not to use annealed glass. So we're going above and beyond standards. So, all right, that's a good question. Any other questions? All right, well, move on to slide 3. Let's test your knowledge here. So use the stickies or the marker to find mistakes and correct them. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. That was in memory of Alex Trebek. Do you guys still need a few more minutes?
It keeps signing me out every time I try to do something.
Yeah, I can't hear you,
Yeah.
so I'm doing my markup on Zoom there.
Light is more than 500 pounds. Yeah. I don't know why Jamboard's not playing nicely today.
That's weird. I'll give you guys a few more moments. I'll take a sip of water. All right, you guys feel like these are all the corrections? All right, you guys done? Raise your hand. I want to see all hands raised if you're all done. All right, okay. So let's see, let's go over it. So safety glazing required if any or all? 5.
Any.
Oh, there we go. So really the correct statement would be safety glazing required if all,
Oh, really?
and it's 4, not 5, conditions are met. Light is greater than 9 square feet. Exposed bottom edge is less than 18 inches above floor. Exposed top edge is greater than 36 inches. So that was a little, yeah, I just put a hyphen in there. So 3 feet above floor. And then walking surface is within 36 inches. And number 5 doesn't exist. I just pulled it out of a hat. So it doesn't matter what the weight is. And then if you move on to slide 4, these were all the corrections. So good job. Oh, I guess I forgot to highlight the greater one. All right, any questions on this? See, when I first started at Walters and Wolf, I thought it was any. So until I worked on a project and I was just like safety glazing a lot of the lights, someone corrected and like, what are you doing? I had to go back and read this and it was like, oh, all items. So that was one mistake that I learned in my earlier days at Walters and Wolf. All right, moving on to slide 5. So with that knowledge, use the pen to put an X, or if Jamboard's not working, you can use the Zoom markups. Put an X in all lights that require safety glazing. If you need to, you can go back to slide 4 and look at the criteria again. I guess I should have pasted it here, but sorry, Carla, go ahead.
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, that wasn't you. Someone else said something.
I tried to ask if what the dimension is to that second horizontal
Which one?
here.
Oh, that one. That one is precisely 6 feet 3 inches 3 and 13/16 of an inch.
And 3 and 13/16. I'm just
Yes.
making it too more complicated than it has to be.
I know that's what when we create shop drawings, we're very precise, and that is the precise dimension. So Jobo, you could just blurt out what you're trying to spell there.
Oh, is this a walkway?
Yes, it is a walkway.
Wait.
You could walk up to it from the exterior, so that is
Yeah.
a good question, if that helps you determine where safety glazing goes.
Do you need to glaze these ones?
All right, does everyone feel, whoa, there we go. Someone got smart and pasted that there. Thank you for whoever did that. Anyone want to fess up who did it? Gabe did it, thank you very much. All right, do you guys feel, are you guys all done? Raise your hand.
Less than 18.
All right, so let's walk through this. Looks like Jobo marked up the first light here. Is that Jobo's marks?
Oh, that might be wrong now that I'm looking at
So let's,
this.
well, we can take a look at it. Let's just go through, is the light greater than 9 square feet? Yes. Exposed bottom edge is less than 18 inches above floor? Yes, it's practically on the ground. Exposed top edge is greater than 36 inches. So let's see, the top exposed edge is what dimension?
34.
34 3/4. So we'll cross that item off, and it is within a 36-inch walking surface. So you got 3 out of the 4. So with this all 4 conditions, what does that tell you?
No safety required.
Yeah, no safety glazing required. Oh, you erased your X's. Okay, well, all right, let's move on to this one. Greater than 9, bottom edge is less than 18, yes. Exposed top edge is greater than 36 inches, yes. It's within a 36-inch walking surface, so that requires safety glazing, very good. What about this one? Who wants to explain this one?
It is, well, the exposed, I don't really know. I don't think it's greater than 9 square feet, but we don't have all the dimensions, so.
Assume that it is greater than 9 square feet.
Okay, so then the exposed bottom edge is less than 18 inches above the floor, but the exposed top edge is not greater than 36 inches above the floor, because the exposed top edge is at 34 3/4.
No, it is
Yeah.
40 3/4.
Yeah, I think that's higher than 30.
The
Yeah.
34 3/4 inches.
No, it's 40 3/4 per
Right here.
dimension. Yep.
Oh, I was looking at the far left dimension. So
Yeah, but sometimes if you just find one, you don't even really need to go any like further, I guess. Because let's see. Oh wait, no, I take
that
that
would
back.
be tempered if it's greater than 9 square feet.
Yeah, so it's greater than 9. It's the top edge is greater than 36 inches. Exposed bottom edge is less than 18, and it's within a walk. So yeah, you need to safety glaze that. All right, no one chose this one, right? Because well, it could be smaller than 9 square feet. The top edge is, let's see, exposed
Less than
top edge is
36.
greater. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
less than 36
Fails number
inches.
3.
So what was that?
It fails number 3.
Fails number 3. Exposed top edge is greater than 36 inches. Yep, that's correct.
Is there a reason for, what's the reasoning behind number 3?
Exposed top edge is greater than 36 inches above floor. So I believe, like if you're walking, if you just happen to run into the glass, you have this horizontal here to somewhat protect, I guess, the majority of your force from crashing into that. And so why the height of a few inches? Maybe they just figured on average, most of everyone's body mass is lower than that. I don't know, like, who knows? I'm just, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
that's a good question. Anyone else have a better explanation than the one I just tried to give?
I think that's as close as you can get, James. We don't really have like, we need to get into like almost the science of why 36 was decided.
Yeah, yeah. So this is almost like really an optimal height because that gets you away from not having to safety glaze both these lights. And then here, obviously, you know, the horizontal is pretty low, so you could essentially fall and crash into this light. And then these are full height ones. So, all right. And then the next slide, slide 6, kind of goes over what we just discussed, right? So each light, you know, these didn't need safety glazing because light meets conditions 3 and 4, not 1 and 2. This light meets 1, 3, and 4, not 2, and then so forth. The ones that do require safety glazing, light meets conditions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So safety glazing required. All right, any questions on that?
Yeah, so are these rules like set up by like, are they like building codes or is it just Walters and Wolf standard like?
Yeah, those are building codes.
Okay.
Yeah. The earlier on in this presentation, the no more annealed, that's more of a Walters and Wolf thing. So, but that's a good question. Jobo, feel free to get rid of your comment there. Thank you. All right, any other questions? All right, moving on to slide 7. All right, so there are exceptions, and I'll just read this off. Outboard pane exception. So the outboard pane in insulating glass units where the bottom exposed edge of the glass is 25 feet or more above any grade, roof, or walking surface that is adjacent to the outboard pane. A good glazing practice would be to heat strengthen the outboard pane to reduce spontaneous breakage. Inboard pane shall still follow safety glazing conditions. So what does that mean? Who wants to try to explain that? All right. I thought Javier might want to chime in here since he was part of this. Okay,
I wanted to give a chance to the rest of the guys if they get.
All right. So I'll do my best explaining, and then we're gonna watch a 4-minute video based off of spontaneous breakage. So what this 25-foot outboard pane exception means. So when you safety glaze glass, we're tempering both inboard and outboard panes typically, right? So this is a section view. So from the earlier exercise, you know, assume this horizontal height is, you know, maybe a 7-foot high. So that's a full height piece of glass. So that would need to be safety glazed, right? So when you safety glaze it, we're tempering the outboard side and the inboard side. These upper lights, there's no safety glazing required here. That's just the standard heat strengthened over heat strengthened. Second level, this is also another full height light that is a potential danger. So we're safety glazing this, which means temper and temper. However, when you get to the 3rd floor, that's another similar case on 2nd level, right? It's a full height piece of glass. It needs to be safety glazed. However, the only difference is with this outboard pane exception, we only need to temper the inboard side, but the outboard side can be heat strengthened. Is that a lot to take in? All right, I'll try to explain. So why would we want to heat strengthen the outboard pane when you're 25 feet and above?
Is it the domino effect where if one breaks, they all blow up?
Yeah, so this spontaneous breakage, right? Because what happens when you temper glass, you get what is called nickel sulfide in the glass. And that's what this 4-minute video is gonna. So let's watch this video real quick and then we'll come back. So I got it open on my other screens, which I will bring it over into view. So please hold on for a sec. You can see this okay, right? All right.
When you think of some of the world's most dramatic buildings, they most likely involve large expanses of glass. However, large expanses of glass may be prone to spontaneous breakage, that is, breaking without any obvious cause. When this occurs, it could be due to glass edge or surface damage from handling and glazing. Building or framing system movement, as well as vandalism, are also common causes. However, today we will discuss a specific type of inclusion, nickel sulfide stones, that can also cause spontaneous breakage. There are more than 50 types of inclusions in float glass, and while the most widely discussed is a nickel sulfide stone, it actually occurs very rarely. While nickel sulfide breaks are extremely rare, to help you understand how spontaneous breakage due to nickel sulfide can sometimes occur, today we'll cover the definition of a nickel sulfide stone and the role of nickel sulfide in spontaneous breakage. When glass goes through the tempering process, it becomes 4 to 5 times stronger than standard annealed glass, making it great from a safety perspective. However, even with that level of strength, there are instances when a piece of glass may break spontaneously. While it's very rare, one possible reason a spontaneous break may occur can be traced to the presence of a nickel sulfide stone. This stone can form during the production of float glass due to nickel contamination and can end up in the center tension zone of tempered glass. When that piece of tempered glass is exposed later to varying temperatures in its final installed position, this tiny stone, which can measure from 3 thousandths to 15 thousandths of an inch in diameter, may grow in size and cause the glass to shatter for no apparent reason. Again, while a nickel sulfide stone is one potential reason for spontaneous glass breakage, there is almost always a more common explanation. There are several facts to keep in mind about nickel sulfide and its role in glass breakage. First, spontaneous breakage caused by nickel sulfide stones occurs only in tempered glass, not in annealed or heat-strengthened glass. For this reason, Vitro Architectural Glass recommends heat-strengthened glass whenever heat-treated glass is needed, except where building codes require a safety glazing. Next, there is no known technology that completely eliminates the possible formation of nickel sulfide stones in float glass. And because nickel sulfide stones are so small, there is no practical way to inspect their presence in float glass. ASTM guidelines permit blemishes including nickel sulfide stones of between 20 thousandths and 100 thousandths of an inch, depending on glass size and quality level, much larger than the typical nickel sulfide stone size. Most North American glass makers have controls that greatly reduce the likelihood of nickel sulfide formation. Here at Vitro, we don't use nickel in any of our primary batch formulations, and our glass plants use magnetic separators. In addition, nickel-bearing metals are banned from all of our operations. Finally, heat soaking after fabrication may destroy flawed glass panels, but the procedure does not guarantee 100% elimination of nickel sulfide inclusions. In addition, the heat soaking procedure can increase cost, cycle time, and scrap rates. Today, we covered the definition of nickel sulfide and the role of nickel sulfide in spontaneous breakage. For more information about spontaneous breakage or to ask any other.
All right.
So can we call them if we have a question?
Was that?
Can we call them if we have any question? Kidding.
Sure, probably. All right. So with that, say for instance, you have like an 8-story building. If you had a tempered piece of glass on the outboard side and it does happen to spontaneously combust, the cascading effect could, if all of these are tempered, could then break all the other tempered pieces of glass as it falls. So it could be a very high cost to us. It could be a liability issue. So that was written into the code as an exception to not tempering the outboard pane.
Do you have a video example of the cascade effect?
I don't have a video. Sorry.
Oh,
But if one can find one really quick, that would be interesting to watch. I don't know if anyone's ever captured that on video. Okay, so any questions on that?
Question.
Yes.
So would it apply to like not just curtain walls? Would it also apply like punched openings that are over 25 feet? Like,
Yeah.
Meet the requirement.
Mm-hmm. It would. Also, well, say for instance you have a 3-story building that just tops out right here. Now, you temper, the bottom 2 floors, but then the top floor is just like a one-off condition, right? So then it's just like, do we keep it the same as level 1 and temper it, on the 3rd floor? Because what's the likelihood of, because you're already having to, temper these down here, right? So it's less risky, but of course, if you have a taller building, it's obviously you're going to want to heat strengthen, above 25 feet where you can. So it's just something that you got to just talk with your PM, say, hey, just to keep glass consistent, could we just, temper, all 3 floors or something? So, all right. Any questions before moving on?
Another quick one. That requires a new glass type, right? Like
Yeah.
designation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you are creating a new glass type. It does create new units. So if you have, all typical units and then it's just the glass type difference, I mean, that's where the discussion occurs in one of our project meetings. So, but 4 floors, yeah, if you've got something more than like 4 floors, 5 floors, then sure, just go ahead and heat strengthen the outboard above 25 feet. So another thing too, I mean, say for instance, you got levels 1 and 2, and then you have a balcony, and then you have another curtain wall that goes up. Where does your 25-foot go to? Does it stay down here from the ground? Or does another 25-foot start where your balcony was?
Balcony, would that be the walking surface?
Yeah, so very good. So where was that? Above any grade, roof, or walking surface. So if you have, a stepped building, if every 2 floors or so, you're essentially just going to be tempering all of your outboard panes. So, all right, let's move on to slide 8. Use the pen and place an X in locations that require tempered over tempered and an O for heat strengthened over tempered.
are these walking surfaces on the exterior? For,
On the exterior,
yeah,
if you can walk in the sky, that would be awesome. But the walking surface, since we're outside of a 3-story building, the only walking surface is down here on the ground. And then of course you have interior walking surfaces at each level. Very good. Looks like you guys are all done. All right, moving on. Oh wait, any questions on this? No, all right. Let's test your knowledge at doors.
Mm,
All right, you guys all done? All right. Oh, good. I was gonna just mention that one and this one. So let's walk through it. Why do you guys select this one?
next to a door.
By how
Less than
much?
24 inches.
24 inches, very good. And then these ones,
Same reason.
same reason, right? And this one actually for 2 reasons.
Oh yeah, the bonus corner piece.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'd have to. Because I think the top exposed edge has to be 36 inches, right? So maybe that doesn't need to be.
Tricky,
All right.
tricky.
What about this light over here? Why did we mark that one?
Yeah, I don't think that one needs to be safety glazed.
Still within 24 inches from the door.
But the more than 36 inches. I mean the 5 feet.
Yeah, so some of you are partly correct. So Javier is partly correct. Yes, it is within 24 inches of a door. However, moving on to the next slide, slide 10, the danger zone is actually 60 inches from ground. So 24 inches over and 60 inches up. So anything in this danger zone would have to be safety glazed, right? So if you go back to slide 9, you'll notice this light, the bottom exposed edge, is 62.5 inches above the ground. So you do not need to temper that piece there. I've seen this on quite a lot of shop drawings where people mark it up and there's this fierce battle with people and long like explanations of why it needs to be or why it doesn't need to be. So I don't like to sing the divisiveness with you guys. So here I'm trying to just explain to you the rule. So 60 inches and above next to a door does not to be safety glazed. So how come no one circled the ones above the door?
Cause you have to be 9 feet to break it.
To
9
add up
foot
that
tall.
60-inch
That's
safety
the
zone.
residential thing that we're Walt and Wolf.
Yeah, so what if this were residential?
Then yes, you temper it.
Yeah, very good. So back to slide 10. In residential applications only, transom above door to be safety glazed. But a lot of our scope is mainly commercial, so you won't typically see that.
Is there a reason for that?
There's taller people in the residential.
There's always a reason, Jobo. Now, I may not have the reason, but I can certainly speculate.
Okay, let's hear your speculation.
Maybe if you're carrying large boxes when you're moving and you hit the light above, I don't know, maybe it could fall on you. I don't know. I mean, the same could be said about commercial office buildings as well, but I'd have to look through the code, although it may not necessarily explain it. So with door safety glazing, you get all the 4 same rules, right? All these conditions are met. And then this additional one, all glass within 24 inches of a door opening, whose exposed bottom edge is less than 60 inches above the walking surface. All right, any questions on that? moving on to slide 11. Stairwells, fun stuff. Okay, so if you have a stairwell, assume that there's a guardrail all around here. You would need to safety glaze the inside. I believe, let's see, I believe the code says if you have a guardrail, you do not need to safety glaze it. However, it is a Walters and Wolf standard to safety glaze here, even if you do have a guardrail. Exterior side, you just refer to your normal glazing practices, like those 4 items. The inboard side over here, if it's away from the stairs by 19 inches or so, like the inboard surface to guardrail is 19 inches, you do not need to safety glaze the inboard side. The code, however, says 18 inches, but Walters and Wolf standard is 19 inches. And then, yeah, Walters and Wolf safety glazing requirement, all interior panes tempered unless exception 1 exists. So it doesn't matter if you got, you know, a guardrail here or not, we're still safety glazing that. Questions?
So that entire wall's inner pane, except for that top light, would be tempered?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, or you could just temper all of it,
Oh,
but it's one of those things that maybe you guys decide in your project meeting. But if you look at, let's see here. See, oh, let's see, where are we? So this section 1 is through here. So we selected all inboard panes to be safety glazed. Oh, see, look, you got the stairs. So even though on one elevation, your stairs may stop, you know, at one elevation, right? But as it wraps around, maybe another elevation, it continues up. So it may be best just to temper all the inboard side of your stairwell.
got it.
Good question, though. Any other questions?
So why would the distance from the guardrail to the outside, to the inboard face, like make a difference in what kind of glass we choose?
Yeah, that's a good one. So you're referring to this over here, right?
Yeah.
So if your wall extends like way out here, right? If you're 10 feet out, there's really no chance that you're going to be able to get to that pane. So you don't have to safety glaze it on the inboard side. Just the threshold at how close you get to the stairs is 19 inches. So why not 36 inches, right? You know, like on those 4 steps or the 4 items, they always say, you know, within 36 inches of a walking surface. However, this is less than 36 inches. So where this number, where the code comes up with 18 inches is, I'm not sure exactly where that comes from, but that's their threshold. So, good question though. You stumped me. Anyone have any other questions? All right, moving on to slide 12. All right, yes, no question. Do I have to temper the inboard pane if I have a stair guardrail 6 inches away from glass?
Yes.
You can put a little tick mark down under whichever one you feel is the correct answer. And then the other one, true or false? I don't have to temper my glass if stairs are 18 inches away from glass. All right, so let's, for the first one, do I have to temper the inboard pane if I have a stair guardrail 6 inches away from glass? Looks like you guys all guessed yes on this, so that is correct. True or false? I don't have to temper my glass if stairs are 18 inches away from glass. That is correct. False, because why?
Needs to be 36 inches away, right?
That is also false. Anyone want to guess again?
It's 19 inches.
19 inches, there you go.
Well,
So
I
why would
thought
you,
The
oh, go
19
ahead.
inches was for the guardrail.
No, it's, well, hopefully there is a guardrail because you don't want to have a hole. I mean, people will just be falling off of that, right? Going back to slide 11. So, I mean, you must have I mean, there's going to be a guardrail here no matter what, if you've got, you know, this big gap, right?
Oh,
So, but the question was 18 inches. So why would Walters the Wolf choose 19 versus 18?
Because we go
Tolerance.
above and beyond.
Tolerance.
Yeah, Farzad got it. Tolerance issues. So even though code says 18 inches, if something is built slightly out of tolerance, such as the stairwells, I mean, we don't control the stairs. So someone else does that, and that could be out of tolerance. And we don't know the tolerances really, but with the stairs, our curtain wall tolerance is pretty good. We know where our wall is going to be. So if we're out of tolerance, the building inspector could come in and say, we got to temper all that glass. So same with the guardrails. That's not in this segment for today, but code says guardrail heights must be 42 inches, but Walters Wolf standard is 42.5 inches for tolerance issues. We've had some projects where the inspector came out, measured the guardrail height. It was slightly less than 42 inches, and we had to remake all the guardrail glass because something was built out of tolerance. So, yeah.
how come we didn't just stick a 1/2 inch shim at the bottom?
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the detail looked like, but I mean, if your shoe is exposed and you already have like a 1/2 inch joint, if you're adding another 1/2 inch joint, I mean, that is
Oh, that's a big joint.
it could be pretty bad looking. So, all right, any questions on that? Moving on to slide 13. All right, let's see here. Which one was this one? Okay, so say like you have a lobby condition, ground level, and then your second level has a slab opening. So I blew it up over here. So if the slab opening is, you know, say 38 inches, this one doesn't need to be safety glazed. However, this needs to be safety glazed. But what happens if that is 16 inches? What do you do?
Safety glaze it still?
So would you safety glaze this?
Yeah.
So more likely the inside here has a guardrail, right? So with what we talked about on the stairs, you know, if your guardrail is up above or like right in front of the glass, we're safety glazing that. So yeah, but I mean, this is not a stairwell. It is a weird situation. So it is kind of like one of those questionable areas, right? Someone could argue, well, I have a guardrail here. Why do I need a safety glaze this? But it is a little like gray area. So depending on who your building inspector is, they may come back and say, no, you need to safety glaze this. So it's pretty safe to just safety glaze this light here. So some things may not be so clear when you look at them. Some things may require a conversation, or others, you may just want to, out of the abundance of caution, just go ahead and safety glaze. So, any questions on that? All right, moving on to slide 14. Oh, so we're getting to the end. So if you have not seen the Walters and Wolf Safety Glazing Manual, if you go to the portal, go to Standard Procedures, it's in the general category, or if you just do a Control F and just start typing safe, there's only 2 matches of Swisses that have the word safe in it. So you just can toggle through and you'll find safety glazing requirements. And then that's where you'll get this cool document. Let me open it up since I have it open. Has anyone not seen this before? I'm just curious. I'm not gonna, oh, so James, yeah, you haven't seen it. Anyone else? So everyone else has seen it? Are you guys just afraid to raise your hand? It's okay. I'm not gonna yell at you or anything. Or will I? I don't know. Okay, so the safety glazing manual, it's got quite a few sheets. It's got a glossary of terms, the main page, all these safety glazing steps. We went over exception 3. We did not go over exception 1 and 2. Number 1 is just decorative glass. So maybe if it's art glass or whatever. And exception 2 is if there's this horizontal bar kind of interrupting the height. So kind of like a handrail that could, withstand 50 pounds per lineal foot. You don't have to safety glaze that. But all this is explained in the manual. And then we have kind of examples down here, like why you would safety glaze something and why you wouldn't. So like the exercise that we went through earlier. Next sheet talks about the doors that we went through, stairwells. We did not cover guardrail heights, but as mentioned, code says 42 inches. So be sure your guardrail height is 42.5 inches. And this also kind of talks about, if you have a cap, how the caps need to run, where you need to have posts or pin the cap or rail to the anchor on the side. And then a lot of times, when we have base shoes, you'll see kind of panel cladding at the base. So that's another thing to kind of take into consideration. If they have this big panel on the inboard side that someone can kind of step up onto, I mean, the code is very vague as to, if you have this step, it might be in the OSHA guidelines for safety, but we tend to maybe take that 42.5 inches from the top of that panel, because depending again on the code inspector, where he's going to take that, he may take it to the top of the panel or down here. So when we're creating guardrails, and if the architect doesn't show, if they show 42 inches from here, but they show this big panel, that's where we need to kind of do our due diligence and kind of explain, why we need to lift the height of that guardrail. The architect may not be happy, and so then maybe they will come up with another design for this shoe area. Maybe they will appreciate the extra height in the guardrail, but it's just something to look for. Slope glass, we didn't talk about this, but code says any angle that's 15 degrees must be laminated, but Walters and Wolf standard is 14. So you can kind of go through and read this. And then let's see, what are these? This is interior glazing, such as mirrors, very similar. to the glass. This one, storefront. Oh, this is a good one. A lot of like TI work, like tenant improvements. They may not have like mullions between partitions. So if this is all glass, but there's no mullions. If you guys remember the sales conference room back at the office, like all the art glass that kind of surrounds, it's not caulked in between. There is a code where there is a limit to, I guess, the joint size, and this kind of explains like if you could press on the glass, there is code where you could pinch fingers. So there's some literature on that. Elevator hoistways, some literature there. And then of course, all the code we've attached to this manual. So if you really want to really dig into it, we've included this for you if you want to do some reading. So this was mainly for you, James, since you're the only one apparently that has not seen this. So, but it's a good refresher for everyone else. So, all right, back to the Jamboard. Slide 15 is just a thank you. Oh, someone advanced. Who advanced? I told you not to advance. Who was it? Raise your hand. All right, well, I appreciate the thank you. So that's all I have, unless you have some questions. Did anyone learn anything? Did everyone just already know this?
It was
Refresher
a
course.
refresher course, yeah. I remember going over this
if I
with you.
see any sales models from Damien that has the wrong.
Well, I don't think we do that, but yeah, I remember reviewing this back in the day. I don't know if you guys updated the manual since then.
I think the last update was 2019.
Okay, yeah, I was before that. So yeah.
So I know Celine is working on one of Damien's projects. So Celine, let's just mark down every light.
Oh my God. She has.
Not yet.
So is basically all our glass is laminated glass, but some of it's also tempered, or
No. So going back to where was it? Slide 2. So we're just heat strengthening glass. So we're not using annealed, we're just heat strengthening it. It's not quite tempered and it's not laminated. So laminated is just 2 pieces of glass sandwiched with the inner layer.
so sometimes we do have glass that's laminated though.
Yes.
So when we have glass that's laminated, does that mean we don't need to do tempered glass anywhere in the project?
I mean, if you have an all laminated project, which I don't know if I've seen, that is considered safety glazing.
I think I had one that was all laminated.
But now, depending on the 2 pieces of sandwich glass that you have, I believe that could either be annealed or tempered with the inner layer. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe someone else can correct me on this. I believe all laminated glass is considered safety glazing, whether or not the 2 pieces are either tempered, heat strengthened, or annealed, because you've got that inner layer that kind of holds it together.
You're 100% correct.
I am 100% correct. All right. So I'm relying on Javier's expertise here. So if I'm incorrect, it's because Javier is incorrect. So blame him, not me.
Y'all got my number.
So in a lot of our like descriptions, it'll say like, here mine says a 1/4 inch clear heat strengthened with VU 50 on number 2. So what does the with VU 50 on number 2 mean?
Do you want to share your screen?
Is that a film?
Maybe. Oops.
I think those are films that get applied. Like a
Because
finish.
I feel like I just get my glass types from the PM, but I don't really actually know what this means.
Yeah, those are the
Oh.
silver finishes.
It's a court finish
Yeah.
on
It's a
surface
coat,
number
right?
2. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so it doesn't do anything for,
It's not the
No.
laminated. Yes.
yeah,
No.
It's
okay.
a court. Yes.
So really the only safety glazing that you've got, so I see tempered, tempered, tempered over tempered. And you've got it indicated with the T's over here already. Let's see. Heat strengthened over heat strengthened is not tempered. This one's tempered. And then this is tempered. But you don't have any like heat strengthened over tempered?
No, because we copied the old one, which didn't have that.
Gotcha, right. This is right. I know which project this is. Okay. So yeah. And that's all I have. So it's 4 o'clock. Unless you have any other questions, I will end it here.
Good class. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you.
Señor
Alright.
James, muchas gracias.
All right. Well, I'll catch you guys all later then.
Domo arigato.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.